Francisco. The San Francisco Historical Society exists to uncover, preserve, and present in engaging ways the colorful and diverse history of our city from its earliest days to the present. As a member, you'll receive The Argonaut, an award-winning publication that has provided in-depth historical accounts for over 30 years. And The Panorama, a quarterly newsletter covering ongoing activities and historical presentations. Go to sfhistory.org and discover the San Francisco Historical Society, giving our history a great future. Become a member today.
Walking into the building for the first time after the shooting, it was crippling, but it had to be preserved.
In response to the Pulse nightclub shooting that affected the LGBTQ community, Barbara Poma, owner of Pulse, founded the One Pulse Foundation to honor Pulse victims and survivors.
If you're an ally of this community, speak out. There are more of us together than apart. It is the power of love in its rawest form.
Join the fight for LGBTQ acceptance. Learn how at lovehasnolabels.com. Brought to you by Love Has No Labels and the Ad Council.
Walking into the building for the first time after the shooting, it was crippling, but it had to be preserved.
In response to the Pulse nightclub shooting that affected the LGBTQ community, Barbara Poma, owner of Pulse, founded the One Pulse Foundation to honor Pulse victims and survivors.
If you're an ally of this community, speak out. There are more of us together than apart. It is the power of love in its rawest form.
Join the fight for LGBTQ acceptance. Learn how at lovehasnolabels.com. Brought to you by Love Has No Labels and the Ad Council.
Can Brock Purdy end the regular season undefeated as a starter?
Not bad for Mr. Irrelevant.
Purdy back to throw. Pressure coming. Steps away. Looking to run, and he walks it in for the touchdown. Purdy makes a swim move and finds Debo Samuel. Are you kidding me? What a play, and the crowd loves it from Brock Purdy.
Niners, Cardinals. The kickoff show starts Sunday morning at 11. Cut him loose! Sponsored by Jim Beam, the 95.7 The Game, Kings Ranch BFN at HD1 San Francisco. An Odyssey station.
Good morning, area.
It's time to wake up. It's 5, and we're live.
Oh, is this thing on? I don't care. I want him to hear.
This is the pregame show, your early morning shot of sports on 95.7 The Game.
Come on!
Oh, yes. Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. You made it. It's Friday. It's a payday Friday here for you, boy. That's nice. So if it's a payday Friday for you as well, congratulations. You made it. That first week back, first week of the new year, you're trying to get back into the swing of things. It's tough. I'm sure all the little hosts this week who have been off for, a couple weeks, a week or two, feel a little rust. Had to get to this Friday finally to kind of shake it off. But I feel like we're there. And hopefully the 49ers have shaken off that rust that they had in Vegas for that defense. My God, that got torched by Jarrett freaking Stidham. But now you're home. Got a week to process that. You've heard a lot of people in the media. You've heard the talk. I'm sure it's in the locker room. D'Amico Ryan saying it. These guys don't think you're actually that good. You just beat a lot of bad teams. So it's going to be very interesting to see how the 49ers bounce back this Sunday at Levi Stadium. Rain is expected, per usual, here in the Bay Area, where it just rains all the time now. It's suddenly Seattle, just down in the Bay. Looks like all those huge warnings have subsided for now. It's good news. A lot of rain, which is good, but again, we'll monitor that. Damar Hamlin, speaking of good news, neurologically intact, awake, communicating. Can't speak just yet. Yeah, the respirator, obviously, but he's communicating via writing. His doctors from UC Cincinnati, they talked to the media yesterday via Zoom call. Just a lot of good progress there for Damar. And he's got movement, all of his extremities. It's very great. He's gripping. Just awesome, awesome stuff for Damar Hamlin and the Bills, who suddenly now have a game to play. And there's a lot to process here. A lot. And by the way, I'd be remiss if I didn't say Hello to YouTube. Hello to all of you out there getting off work, getting on to work, getting ready for school, getting ready to go out to Tahoe this weekend. All that sort of stuff. Welcome in. 888-957-9570, 888-957-9570. Xfinity mobile text line is open if you would like to get involved, and please do. I love when you get involved. Need the questions. I'll provide the answers. And the big question, and we're going to start off with the San Francisco 49ers because it feels like this whole week has been a little all over the place. Again, came back. It's a new year. Warriors, what's going on with them? They have that huge win on Monday, double overtime. Again, we have the Damar Hamlin situation on Monday Night Football as well. Cardiac arrest. So there's just been a lot to juggle throughout the week. Warriors lose a heartbreaker in not overtime, in the last second to Sadiq Bey. So we haven't really had a chance to just talk about the 49ers, right? A little bit of Vegas, yeah, sure. Overtime. But now they have a chance to get the 1 seed in the NFC. And I alluded the Bills previously, and they're getting ready to play this weekend. And it's going to be a fun weekend of NFL. And it starts tomorrow, by the way. It's Saturday. Raiders, Chiefs, which now has huge implications. It already kind of did, but T's and Y in a sec. Because the NFL made a lot of scenarios, and it looks like a lot of scenarios are going to be happening. So this is what's at stake this weekend in the NFL. In the AFC side, obviously, they're not going to replay the Bills-Bengals match. That is now a no contest. So it's going to change a lot of things. And we were discussing that a lot on 95.7 The Game yesterday. A lot of the shows, Willard Dibbs, Morning Rose, Steiny Goo, all across talks, this was the conversation. The landscape of the NFL, the playoff ramifications, all that sort of stuff. So, here's what we got. Thank you for Tom Pelissero for putting it just beautifully. This is easy. If the Chiefs lose and the Bills win, Buffalo is the number 1 seed, and the AFC Championship game is in Buffalo. Okay. If the Chiefs win and the Bills lose, Kansas City is the 1 seed, and the AFC Championship game is in Kansas City. If the Chiefs and Bills both win and meet in the AFC Championship game, it'd be a neutral site. Presumably, and we were discussing this yesterday, probably Indianapolis makes most sense for that, but again, they haven't announced that. I would guess Indy for just going geographically, although Vegas would be pretty sweet. All right, so that's how the AFC Championship game goes with the Bills and the Chiefs. More on the AFC playoffs. The Bengals are now recognized as the AFC North champions regardless of the outcome of this Sunday's game. A coin flip could end up deciding home field in a playoff rematch with the Ravens, but Cincinnati has the higher winning percentage and has won the title. So that's that, and I think that's the best way to do it. We were discussing many a scenario. Will they add an 8th playoff team? How does that work with the NFC side? I think this is the best way to do it. I think the NFL got it right here. They were put in a horrible situation to, you already had to cancel that game because you're not going to make the Bills or Bengals play, 3 games within the span of 2 weeks or 16 days, what have you. So, do you think the NFL got it right? Was this the right outcome? I think it is. And let me know at 888-957-9570, 888-957-9570. What else could you have done? The 8th team, I think, was just a little far-fetched. It was interesting for a second when who was it? Pro Football Talk? They leaked that info, and we were talking about it. We're like, oh, interesting. Huh. Another 8, and you thought about it for a second, an 8th team. I was like, that would solve a lot of the problems, but also you're adding another playoff team that shouldn't have been there. A lot of teams are already prepping for the end of the year. You got Sam Howell over in Washington. He's going to be starting this week for the Commanders. Do you switch back to Taylor Heineke? The Saints are suddenly alive. Like, there was just too much of stuff. And it's already Friday. Teams are already done with their practices. They're doing their walkthroughs now. It would have been too much. So, that leads us to the 49ers this Sunday at Levi Stadium, right? This is a game you have to win. You have to. And I think they will. It's just David Blau on the other side for the Cardinals. No DeAndre Hopkins. no Colt McCoy, no Kyler Murray. You have to win this game. At home, it's going to be messy, it's going to be raining, and maybe that'll be the great equalizer. But I just cannot fathom coming off that defensive performance that team had in Las Vegas that they would throw up another stinker this Sunday. Again, I didn't think Jarrett Stidham would throw for that many yards and touchdowns that he did against that Niners defense, so maybe anything's possible. But David Blau, please. Like, I've seen enough of him to realize he's not a great quarterback. You need to win this game. You need to win it because the number 1 seed, although seems impossible, it's just one game out. And I know the Giants, the impossible part I was alluding to there because they're only a game out, was that the Giants are probably not going to play anyone. And they're going up against the Eagles this weekend, division rivals. So, never know. Division game, it could be weird. And maybe I should be applying that to the Cardinals and Niners this weekend. But Colt McCoy is one thing. If Colt McCoy was playing, I'd say, maybe. Even though he kind of wet the bed in Mexico City, they had no chance. But we saw what he did last year at Levi Stadium with Eno Benjamin running all over the place, trucking Dre Kirkpatrick. David Blau's not getting it. This is third string. This isn't Brock Purdy third string. David Blau doesn't have the safety net that is DeAndre Hopkins at his disposal. That's a huge loss. If DeAndre is playing, maybe I'd be slightly more concerned, but not right now. So just handle your business. Brock Purdy, do your Brock Purdy thing, scramble, get the touchdowns, throw to George Kittle. Let's get a big lead so you can rest some of these guys in the second half. Rain does concern me with that field, slip in and slide in. Just don't want any injuries heading into playoffs. That's just the only thing you do not want. You'll take the 2 seed. Hell, you'll take the 3 seed. You don't want to be the 3 seed, but you'll take it as long as you don't have any major injuries. And it looks like Deebo Samuel's practicing this week, so hopefully he'll be good and ready to go. Get him a couple reps in the game before playoffs start would be huge. The 49ers are a great team. I would say that. The NFC, there's only 3, maybe 4 teams now at the Green Bay Packers. If they make it, I could see hoisting the Lombardi trophy. Niners, Eagles, Cowboys, tough to say. Maybe I'll toss in 5 then, because I think Bucks with Tom Brady and a defense and a running game, I'm never going to put it past him. So Bucks, and then I put the Packers in there because they're just playing with their heads on fire, and that is a scary team, and I want no parts of them. I don't. There's only 2 Hall of Fame quarterbacks playing in the NFC right now that have a chance to win the Super Bowl, and that's Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady. And whenever you have those guys in a good defense, you can cause problems. And that's what has been happening to teams playing Green Bay. We saw it with the Miami Dolphins, and then we saw that with the Minnesota Vikings getting absolutely destroyed in Lambeau Field last week. So, LaShawn McCoy, LaShawn McCoy, former running back of the Philadelphia Eagles, of the Kansas City Chiefs. He was on the Chiefs when they beat the Niners in the Super Bowl a few years ago. Shady McCoy, fantasy stud. He was on FS1, his show with Joy Taylor, Emmanuel Acho. And he had a very interesting thought. I shouldn't say thought. Take on the San Francisco 49ers.
The Niners are a great team, first of all. Everyone on this table agrees with that.
No, they're a good team. And I agree they're good.
They're a great team. They are a great team.
They're great? They're better than the Eagles right now. How are they great? When they played another super good team like they were, they got blown out. Chiefs, did y'all forget? No, I didn't forget. As just great as this defense is, how great this defense is, how great this quarterback is, when they played another good team, they played another good team, they got blown out the gym.
The Eagles lost to the Commanders.
Yo, all the money went to the Niners. Vegas had a field day.
The Commanders. The Eagles lost.
Hold on. You just said how great they was, right?
They're a great team.
Okay, so when I'm breaking down other good teams they played, First of all, the Commanders, they just got eliminated from the playoffs. They was on that run. They lost 3 in a row to get out of it. Okay, so all the other winning teams they played, they lost. 49ers played the Chiefs, blown out. They played the Chargers, and they won.
Okay. LaShawn McCoy, the 49ers are a good but not great team. You buying that? Let me know at 888-957-9570, 888-957-9570, Xfinity Mobile text line. Let me know in the YouTube chat. Are you buying that the 49ers this season are not a great team just because they haven't beaten a lot of teams with a winning record? You buying that? Because I'm not. I can just watch the game with my eyes. And LaShawn McCoy, hell, he's played at that level. He's played at the highest level. He's won at the highest level. He gets that. But there might be some bias there as well. Again, I mentioned former Eagle, former Chief. Those are his two teams. I'm sure he would like nothing more than for those two teams to play each other. Call that the Andy Reid Bowl. Former team versus current team. Well, let's just go through the 49ers schedule right now. Let's humor LaShawn McCoy for a second. Okay. Lost to the Bears. Week 1 in the slop. Trey Lance starting. 19-10. All right. Bears aren't a good team. Gotten better, though. Justin Fields might be a dude. Then come back next week. Trey Lance gets hurt, obviously, but you handle the Seahawks. Seahawks are a playoff team. It's a divisional game, right? They're 8-8. They could end up with a winning record this week. Absolutely. They're playing the Los Angeles Rams. So that would be a team with a winning record. And I think for the most part, people would say the Seahawks they're good. They've been solid this year. Many people thought they were going to stink and be the worst team in the league, but they're not. And I think our preconceived notions on that team is still clouding us a little bit. So those are impressive wins. They swept them in Seattle, Brock Purdy, to get the division too. Then you come back, lose to the Broncos. That's the worst loss of the year. I think we all can agree on that. Broncos are in shambles. They are awful. Not a good team. Then you handle the Rams, back when the Rams were still the Rams. We thought Matt Stafford, Cooper Kupp playing. Then you handle the Panthers, lose to the Falcons, you slip up there. Okay. Then you get blown out against the Chiefs. And then this is when the streak started to roll against the Rams when they weren't very good. Then the Chargers with no Mike Williams, obviously. But, hey, no excuses. Chargers are a playoff team now, so that counts. Cardinals, blowout. Saints, shutout. Dolphins, 49ers destroy the Bucs, who are a playoff team, who might end up with a winning record, might not. That's Tom Brady and the GOAT. It's never going to be easy. And then again, Seahawks, clinch division, handle Washington Commanders, who were just in the playoff race until last year, until Ron Rivera apparently forgot that he was still in the playoff race. And then last week against the Raiders, who you eliminated from playoff contention. So heading into this season, it was supposed to be one of the tougher schedules in the league because you were going up against the AFC West. People were talking, can 4 teams make it in the AFC West and the AFC playoffs? Is that possible? No. Because Broncos country, let's ride Russell Wilson, is a shell of himself. It's now Broncos country, let's cry. We've discussed that. And the Raiders like to blow leads like it's nothing. They did it again last week against the Niners. They blow double-digit leads better than everyone else. They couldn't close. Derek Carr wasn't the guy. He's moved on. What have you. Offense still good, obviously, with Jarrett Stidham. And it was a good win for the Niners to overcome some adversity. But this notion that the 49ers aren't a great team because they've only beaten, the Seahawks twice, the Chargers. Stop. Just use the eye test. This team's streaking right now. They're on a huge winning streak. They've been playing defense better than everyone else. Now, was it a tad overrated by some? Was it a little bit exposed last week? Maybe. But I don't think we were ever discussing this team. Maybe we were in the first couple weeks because they were that good defensively. But they're not the Buccaneers of the early 2000s or the Ravens of 2000 or the 85 Bears. It's not possible in today's day and age with the offensive weapons and just the offensive schemes. People are going to score points, and we saw that last week in Las Vegas. Let's go to Joe in Livermore. Joe, you are on line. Oh, Joe, you dropped? Okay. Check that. Joe's gone. It's all right. Thought I had one of my first callers in a while. But guess not. Guess not. Back to the 49ers. That was depressing, wasn't it? 518, I was like, you know what? I finally got one. I finally got my caller. Because shout out Xfinity Mobile Text Line. You guys are always with me. Ride or Dies. YouTube chat. You guys are always with me. Shout out. But I thought I had a caller. It's a rarity. Because I'm usually here by myself, behind the scenes. Occasionally, Sam Lubman gets here early before the show, but generally gets in here around 5:10, 5:15. He's a hard worker, Sam. He's good. But I thought I had a call. Damn. LaShawn McCoy doesn't know what he's talking about. He doesn't. I think he's just drinking the haterade. The 49ers are a great team. And I think they're one of two great teams in that conference. It's them and the Eagles. And the Eagles, all due respect, their quarterback's falling apart. They have injuries left and right. Lane Johnson is hurt. Gardner Johnson, I think he's just coming back from his injury. They got a lot of problems. And none bigger than a quarterback's arm being injured heading into the year, in which you've had to play Gardner Minshew multiple times. Now, will Jalen Hurts play this week? We'll see. Do they want him to play a little bit before potentially having a bye and being that rusty? Be interesting to see how seriously they take this Giants game. The Giants going to take it seriously? We'll see. 510 Xfinity Mobile Text Line weighing in. And if you would like to weigh in, it's 888-957-9570. McCoy is right. The 49ers have had a good season. You can't label anyone in the NFL great yet. Everyone has blemishes this season. The greatness has to be earned in the playoffs. Okay. But we're talking about greatness in the regular season. If that's by your definition, no one could be great in the regular season. I just disagree. I mean, that champion, that undefeated New England Patriots team was pretty amazing and pretty great that year, right? In the regular season, not losing a game. I'd say that's great. 49ers, not losing in how many weeks has it been now? Since October 23rd. It's pretty great. Just a couple months ago. That's great. The Eagles, yes, they are a great team. But I don't think we need to disparage the 49ers just to rise up the Eagles. And I get it. This is what we do in media. We have to create content. We have to do all that. But I'm just not buying that notion. Xfinity Mobile Text Line. 510. Thank you. Great teams beat teams they're supposed to beat. Totally agree. Totally agree. That's where greatness comes from. Beating the teams you're supposed to. You talk about that all the time in Major League Baseball, right? I remember we were roasting the Giants that season, and looking back, maybe that was a team where we overblown because they did, for the most part, just destroy the Diamondbacks and the Rockies in that 110-win season, 7 wins, 107? So long ago now, I can't remember. Far cry from that Giants season, seems like. But you're supposed to beat the teams that are on your schedule. And again, I mentioned it earlier. This is supposed to be one of the tougher schedules in the league because you were going up against the AFC West. And it's not the Niners' fault that the AFC West isn't that great. Although they did lose to the worst team in the AFC West and the best team in the AFC West. But beating a Chargers team that's in the playoffs and a Raiders team that was in playoff contention until last week is nothing to snuff at. Those are really good. I think the greatest offensive talent is in that division still. When you look at guys like Devontae Adams, Mike Williams, Keenan Allen, Austin Eckler, Josh Jacobs, Jerry Jeudy. Yeah, he does not really belong in there. Good player, but doesn't really belong. That Broncos team stinks. They got a lot of problems. They have a lot of problems. I'm fascinated to see what happens there in this offseason. Jim Harbaugh, maybe. He's getting floated out there. I guess he talked to the Panthers. So that's going to be very, very interesting. So let me know. Are the 49ers, are they a great team this season? Do you agree with LaShawn McCoy that they're just a good team? That they haven't really beaten anyone? I'm not buying that. Not buying it. 408, Xfinity Mobile text line. Great teams are supposed to put up offensive numbers. Jimmy G was a handicap. He was handicapping them for a little bit. That's just a fact. We were talking about this team early on, specifically in that Denver game. In Denver and Mile High, the pick 8, what was it? Is that what Bonte was calling it? The pick 8. It was that offense holding the team back. And I don't want to hamper on Jimmy Garoppolo too much because once he did get Christian McCaffrey, I thought he was getting a lot more comfortable. The team obviously just took a whole turn. And once CMC came to the building, this is when this whole streak started. Obviously, once he started starting, he did come in that first game, played a little bit against the Chiefs, and they were getting blown out. So I don't really count that one too much, but if you want to, fair enough. One loss since the CMC era started in San Francisco. But yes, once they started getting that offensive going, coupled with that defense, it was impressive. And they were the best team in the league, in my opinion, for a huge stretch there, especially with the Eagles fading late and their injuries stacking up. 510, we have to stop throwing the word great around so loosely. It's just, what's your definition of great? Is it beating more teams over 500? My definition of greatness is when I look at them on the field, are they dominating and are they physical most of the time? And I believe that to be the case with the 49ers, especially during this Brock Purdy era that we are in. They make the smart plays most of the time. Kyle Shanahan has these guys gelling at all levels. DeMeco Ryans. They had a hiccup last week on defense, but you know what? That's going to happen when you go up against guys like Devontae Adams, Josh Jacobs, Darren Waller, Hunter Renfrow, Foster Moreau, and Jared Stidham caught lightning in a bottle, potentially. Maybe Jared Stidham might just be good. And then does that just change your outlook on that? What if he goes up tomorrow in what is now a huge game in Vegas? What if Jared Stidham lights up the Chiefs and they win that game against Patrick Mahomes? Would that view of that win that you had last week change at all? Be like, oh, hey, Jared Stidham might be actually pretty good. That was a hell of a win we had in Vegas. Or were you like me and was like, that was a hell of a win anyway? You had to overcome some adversity on the road. And wasn't the biggest road environment in a dome when your fan base kind of took over. But I digress. We're going to take a quick break here. Come on back. We're going to get more into the 49ers, Cardinals. Let me know your thoughts. Is this a layup for the 49ers like I think it is? Do the elements scare you a little bit like it did early in the season when you had to play in the rain and the monsoon? I don't think it's going to be that bad, but there's going to be a lot of rain, it looks like, for the foreseeable future in the Bay Area. Please drive safe out there, all of you. If you're just getting off work, if you're getting into work, getting ready for school, getting ready to drop off the kids at daycare early, please be safe. Please be safe. The roads are still slick out there. There's still some wind, a little bit. So be safe out there. We're going to take a quick break, come on back, get into more of the 49ers Cardinals. Plus, later, we'll obviously talk with Joe Shasky. Will join me like he does every day, Monday through Friday, around 5:45. So not going to want to miss that. A little crosstalk with Shasky. Plus, Brian Sabian, Saby Sabes, former general manager, president of baseball operations, what have you, head honcho of the San Francisco Giants, architect of 3 World Series. He joined Willard and Dibbs yesterday, and he had some very interesting thoughts on his time with the Giants, how he left that organization, going to the Yankees where it all started for him. By the way, did you guys know this? Maybe I'm just too young because I was born in 1993. I didn't really get to watch that Yankees dynasty, so maybe my age is showing a bit. But Brian Sabian was the head of the scouting department for the Yankees when he first, broke into the scene. And he got Derek Jeter, Mariano Rivera, Jorge Posada. He was the architect of all those guys. Andy Pettit. It's impressive. That's impressive. So nothing but love and respect for Brian Sabian and all he did for the Giants. And now he's going back to the Yankees, who seem to just be taking everyone from the Giants, whether it's Aaron Judge, what have you. That's going to be a fun opening series in New York, is it not? Can't wait for that one. Baseball season right around the corner. Pitchers and catchers reporting soon. So we'll get into that sound coming up next. This is the pregame show. Joe Spadoni, 95.7 The Game.
Can Brock Purdy Purdy end the regular season undefeated as a starter.
Not bad for Mr. Rowe.
Purdy back to throw. Pressure coming. Steps away. Looking to run. And he walks it in for the touchdown. Purdy makes a swim move and finds Debo Samuel. Are you kidding me? What a play. And the crowd loves it from Brock Purdy.
Niners, Cardinals. The kickoff show starts Sunday morning at 11. Cut him loose! Sponsored by Jim Beam Bourbon Whiskey and by Harris Ranch Beef.
The new year is here. Time for a change. Start a recession-resistant new career in the high-demand IT field with My Computer Career. In just months, already in IT? Build your cybersecurity skills and prep for thousands of open positions employers nationwide are desperate to fill. Attend classes live online or on campus, and financial aid is available to those who qualify, including the GI Bill. Make this your year. Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation today. That's mycomputercareer.edu.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Mr. Clean, Mr. Clean. Of course I use Mr. Clean Magic Eraser to clean tough messes off my stovetop and bathtub. But then I discovered I can also use it to easily clean my patio furniture and even my shoes. I'm hooked.
And when wipes won't cut it, I use Magic Eraser Sheets. They're thin and flexible erasers, perfect for everyday messes, like gunk on my counters and sinks. They really are magical.
The reviews are in. Mr. Clean Magic Eraser and Sheets make cleaning look easy.
Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if a prescription is appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for full details and important safety information. Subscription required.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same but is 90% cheaper? And you can get it online? Go to 4hims.com/joy. At Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation and discreet shipping if prescribed. You'll love your results. To start your free online visit, go to 4hims.com/joy. That's FORHIMS.com/JOY.
Norman, we need to pause this surgery.
What, doctor?
Well, we need to hurry to the Xfinity Hello 2023 sale. New Xfinity customers can get 75 megabit internet for just $19.99 a month for 12 months with a 1-year contract. Plus, when you add 2 lines of Xfinity Mobile, you get $500 back for a limited time.
Drop everything. Get to the Xfinity Hello 2023 sale now through January 10th. Go to Xfinity.com/Hello 2023 to learn more. Restrictions apply. Internet offer requires paperless billing and autopay with stored bank account. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra. After term, regular rates apply. Xfinity Internet required for Xfinity Mobile.
When people have a craving to explore new and traditional Asian cuisines, they head to P.F. Chang's, where scratch-made dishes come from the 2,000-year-old tradition of wok cooking. P.F. Chang's wanted to explore new possibilities for their website. They turned to AmericanEagle.com. AmericanEagle.com re-architected P.F. Chang's website, integrating multiple third-party systems to create a unified digital experience. The results? Improved page speed and performance, personalized content based on users' location, intuitive online ordering, an increase in organic search visibility, and a 40% increase in new users. For scratch-made Asian cuisine, visit your local P.F. Chang's or go to pfchangs.com for website design, development, digital marketing, and hosting. P.F. Chang's and AmericanEagle.com, another example of the best businesses in the world, turning to the best in the business for websites. Go to AmericanEagle.com or call 877-WEB-NOW1. That's 877-WEB-NOW1.
Now back to 95.7 The Game.
Dan Loveman, Joe Shasky. He'll be joining me here in about 15 minutes or so. Excited. Got Niners, Cardinals. David Blau v. Brock Purdy, ladies and gentlemen. Wow. If you were to tell me that was the week, what is it, was 19 now matchup? Week 8. Oh, it's still week 18. Okay. Week 18 matchup. The whole new schedule still throws me off. 9 and 8, whatever, and bye weeks. But David Blau v. Brock Purdy, with a chance for the NFC 1 seed on the line, Now, other things have to happen, but you got to win this game first. It's pretty not sexy, I'll say that, but you know what's sexy? Winning. Winning is sexy in this league. So just win. That's all that matters. Style points don't. Just stay healthy. Do what you got to do. YouTube is up. Hello. How you doing? Hit me up on YouTube now. 95.7 The Game. Go up there. Subscribe. Do what you got to do so you can see this beautiful mug. And if you're up at 5 o'clock in the morning, you know what? You can just go on that smart TV, pull up that app on YouTube, and just click right on it. And you can see this face. Or maybe you don't want to. Maybe it'll make you sick in the morning. And the Xfinity mobile text line obviously is always open as well. 888-957-9570, 888-957-9570. 650. Can we now say Purdy gives us a better chance to win this season? Everyone said it so fast for Jimmy. Shouldn't Purdy get it too? Well, in fairness, Jimmy Garoppolo had been to a Super Bowl before, NFC Championship game last year. Whether it was him driving the train or not, I don't think so. He was a passenger, but nevertheless, he was on the train. And no, Brock Purdy, he's playing great. Let's just say that. He's playing very well. He's very poised. I've been very impressed with what he's had to do. It's still just a cup of coffee in this league. And would anyone be shocked if he went in the divisional round or wild card round, whatever we're calling it now, because every team plays in the playoffs now except for the very one seed. But if he plays Aaron Rodgers and the Packers beat him 20-10 or something like that, and Purdy struggles with 2 picks and a fumble, are we going to be in here and crushing the kid? No. We're going to be shocked? No. Because he's a rookie. He's undersized. And things happen like that. Okay? That happens. I'm not going to sit here and crush the kid. And I can already see it now. If that does happen, there's going to be a lot of people crushing him. He's not the guy. He can't lead us. You know what? Let's bring Jimmy back. He would have won us this game. Yada, yada, yada. Trey Lance was the guy. Like, we'll sort that all out in the offseason. Let's just enjoy the ride right now. And I think that's what a lot of Niners fans are doing. Ever since this streak started, it's been a lot of winning. And seeing the emergence of Brock Purdy, his story, it's been fun to watch. So let's just enjoy the ride. Handle business this Sunday at Levi Stadium. See who you get. Is it going to be the Lions? Is it going to be the Packers? Giants? Let's see. Whoever you get. And I like your shot against pretty much all those teams. Packers scare me. I would like to avoid them. When you're going up against potentially a Hall of Fame quarterback or Jared Goff, Geno Smith, Daniel Jones. Yeah, I think I'd like to go with those other 3 then against the guy named Aaron Rodgers. Maybe that's just me. I don't know. You kind of owned him forever. He's never beaten you in the playoffs, so maybe you're like, listen, Spadoni, I'm not worried about Aaron Ayahuasca freaking Rodgers. Okay? Okay? They were all doing their Romo impressions, and I cannot get it out of my head. The morning roast changeover. You're not going to want to miss that. That's always spicy, by the way. The morning roast changeover, if that was just a show in itself, it might be the greatest show on 95.7 The Game. Second only to the pregame show, Joe Spadoni. But it's always good every morning. They were doing all their impressions yesterday. Everyone tossing out 4s and 5 ratings for their Bill Romanowskis. They were doing the Goon Squad. That was fun. Ron Artest still. He's the number one guy you just don't want to mess with in sports. Don't want to mess with. YouTube. The Evangelist. Packers want revenge for last year. Okay. Everyone wants revenge. Sure, 49ers just want revenge in the NFC Championship game. They're not going to get it against the Rams. But I get what you're saying. Maybe it'll be different on the road. LaFleur, his relationship with Kyle Shanahan. Aaron Rodgers, his relationship with this team. We get all that. We get all that. But again, Aaron Rodgers has struggled mightily in the playoffs against this 49ers team. It's been really at every single venue now that I'm thinking about it. at Old Candlestick, at Levi's in the NFC Championship game when they got destroyed. And they got destroyed in the one in Candlestick. And then the snow game last year at Lambeau. Literally, all 3 locations. What are we missing? A neutral site game? You're going to go to Indy? Is that where the NFC Championship would be? Indianapolis? It's like, Aaron Rodgers this is the one that the hump he cannot get over. And I get that he's won his Super Bowl or whatever. His legacy is sealed, but if he was able to go on this run and all the crap and flack, most of it brought upon himself, by the way, that he has taken this year and a half, I'm sure this would be a great FU tour for him to the league, to all the haters, quote unquote. I'm sure he would love that. And this would, if he went on a run and won a Super Bowl this year with this team, with no Devontae Adams, with Christian Watson being his best player, be impressive. I think that would put him in the top 5 quarterbacks of all time, maybe. Like, that's pretty impressive. There's only a handful of people that have won 2 Super Bowls as starting quarterback, and he would be one of them. 888-957-9570, 888-957-9570. If you would like to get involved. We're talking about primetime games, talking about whether the 49ers are a good or a great team. It's semantics. They're a great team. Who else are you taking to beat them in the playoffs if they play right now? Right now, who are you taking? Tell me at 888-957-9570, 888-957-9570, YouTube chat. Billy Billionaire, shout out. Rather watch Spadoni than my morning news. Support your morning news, all right? This is a morning news type show, right? Sports news. Whatever comes across my desk, I'll relay the information. Whatever happens. I got the Schefter and Rap Sheet Twitter notifications. And I'll tell them you. That's how it works. LaShawn McCoy, if you didn't hear it, this is what he had to say on FS1 yesterday. Check that. I believe it was 2 days ago with Joy Taylor and Emmanuel Acho. How the 49ers are not a quote-unquote great team.
The Niners are a great team, first of all. Everyone on this table agrees with that.
No, they're a good team. They're not great, they're good.
They're a great
They
team.
are a great team.
They're great? They're better than the Eagles. How they great? When they played another super good team like they were, they got blown out. Chiefs, did y'all forget?
No, I didn't forget.
It's just great as this defense is, how great this defense is, how great this quarterback is. When they played another good team, they played another good team, they got blown out the gym.
The Eagles lost to the Commanders.
Yo, all the money went to the Niners. Vegas had a field day.
The Commanders. The Eagles lost.
Hold on, no. You just said how great they was, right?
They're a great team.
Okay, so when I'm breaking down other good teams they played, first of all, the Commanders, they just got eliminated from the playoffs. They was on that run. They lost 3 in a row to get out of it. Okay, so all the other winning teams they played, they lost. 49ers played the Chiefs, blown out. They played the Chargers, and they won.
You buying that? I think that's just him gassing up his Eagles team and his former Chiefs team and trying to just take shots at the Niners. I get it. It's a thing in the media. You got to have a hot take. Can't have everyone all agree on the same panel. It's not going to make for a fun show. We get all that. I just disagree with the notion that the 49ers are not a great team. If you want to make that argument because they have a rookie quarterback, okay, sure. But what has Brock Purdy shown that hasn't been great, to be honest with you? It's been very good. If you want to do semantics again, it's been very good. It was impressive what he did last week. Sure, he had a pick. Probably another ball should have been picked. He had quite a few oh-no throws. But again, he's a rookie. He's played in a handful of games this season and done very, very well. What more do you need to see? Is it just winning a game in the playoffs now for you to believe? Let me know at 888-957-9570, 888-957-9570. We got one more segment here for you. Again, I teased it earlier. Brian Sabian had some interesting thoughts. You know, Brian Sabian, former general manager of the, not the 49ers, but the San Francisco Giants, architect of the 3 World Series teams. Then Farhan took over. Sabian was still in a role that I'm sure not many Giants fans even knew about, that he was still with the team, but he wasn't happy with that role. Now he's moved on to the Yankees, and he had some interesting thoughts on that. He joined Willard and Dibbs yesterday, so we'll play some of the cuts there. And Joe Shasky will join me on the other side, get a little preview of that 49ers-Cardinals game and his thoughts on Brian Sabian and his comments. We'll get it all into that right here, the pregame show. Joe Spadoni, 95.7 The Game.
It's the final week of the regular season for the Niners.
2 fake tosses, and then to Kittle over the middle. Touchdown San Francisco.
It's Niners versus Cardinals in Week 18.
Tell me this guy doesn't look like he's in his 7th year in the league.
The kickoff show starts Sunday morning at 11. Sponsored by Jim Beam Bourbon Whiskey. Taste the world's #1 bourbon. And by Harris Ranch Beef. Legendary beef, legendary quality.
Are you ready to boost your game at work, explode with energy at the gym, and really hit one out of the park in the bedroom? Balanced Medical Solutions has your back with the best solutions for ED, PE, weight gain, and chronic fatigue. Join thousands of Bay Area men who have said goodbye to low testosterone, low energy, and low libido who now feel like world champs. Mention this station until the end of the month to get a medical evaluation with labs, including hormone tests, for only $69. Call today and get a win. 510-679-3300 or visit balancedmedicalsolutions.com.
Smooth skin begins with hydrating ingredients. Olay Hyaluronic Body Lotion nourishes your skin with all-day hydration for deeply moisturized results that give you confidence like buttery soft shoulders like and visibly smooth skin like. Quench your skin with nourishing moisture from Olay Hyaluronic Body Lotion. Try Olay Hyaluronic Body Wash too and get skin your face will envy.
Stock up and save big now, store-wide at the Lowe's Truckload event. For a limited time, save up to 50% on select tools and accessories from the brands you trust. And buy a DeWalt 12-inch dual bevel miter saw and get an adjustable stand for free. Plus, get deals on appliances, bath, and more. Head to your local Lowe's or visit Lowe's.com to shop the Truckload event today. While supplies last, selection varies by location, valid 12/29 through 1/11.
Are you kidding me? Gas prices are up again? Somebody has to do something.
Well, someone did. That's why I use Upside.
Upside? What's that?
It's a free app that pays you back real money for every gallon of gas or diesel you buy. I just earned 25 cents back on every gallon of this tank.
Hold on. So the Upside app is free and you actually get cash back every time you use it? No strings attached?
Yep, it's awesome. Check it out. It only takes a couple of minutes to sign up.
Instead of just watching your dollars go into your tank, start putting money back into your wallet with the free app from Upside. With the price of gas today, it's big news and big money. To cash out of your Upside cash, just transfer it to your bank account, PayPal, or a gift card. Upside users have already earned over $200 million. Now it's your turn. Download the free Upside app and get cash back on every gallon of gas. Use promo code GOLF for an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first fill-up. That's code GOLF. Use code GOLF for an extra 25 cents per gallon back in your first fill-up. Cashback's not available in gas in New Jersey and Wisconsin.
In 1848, James Marshall discovered gold at Sutter's Mill. And in 3 years, a multicultural migration grew a sleepy trading post of 800 to a city of over 250,000. These were the first dreamers, innovators, builders, and inventors that defined San Francisco. The San Francisco Historical Society exists to uncover, preserve, and present in engaging ways the colorful and diverse history of our city from its earliest days to the present. As a member, you'll receive The Argonaut, an award-winning publication that has provided in-depth historical accounts for over 30 years. And The Panorama, a quarterly newsletter covering ongoing activities and historical presentations. Go to sfhistory.org and discover the San Francisco Historical Society, giving our history a great future. Become a member today.
Walking into the building for the first time after the shooting, it was crippling, but it had to be preserved.
In response to the Pulse nightclub shooting that affected the LGBTQ community, Barbara Poma, owner of Pulse, founded the One Pulse Foundation to honor Pulse victims and survivors.
If you're an ally of this community, speak out. There are more of us together than apart. It is the power of love in its rawest form.
Join the fight for LGBTQ acceptance. Learn how at lovehasnolabels.com. Brought to you by Love Has No Labels and the Ad Council.
Now, back to the pregame show on 95.7 The Game.
Welcome back. Pregame show. Joe Spadoni, 95.7 The Game. Phil Collins Friday for all those who observe. Right here on 95.7 The Game. We are live up on YouTube. Hit us up there if you'd like to get involved in the show. You can also go the old-fashioned way at 888-957-9570. We heard from high above that maybe we're saying that number too fast, and we gotta do every show like it's our first show. Some people may have never heard us before. You may be tuning in for the first time. So 888-957-9570. If you would like to get involved, you can call that number or you can text it. It's great. Killed two birds with one stone. Text and call. Thought we had our call earlier from Livermore. Dropped. I was sad. I was very saddened. Thought we had one. Maybe another day. It's hard. I get it. 5 a.m. Who wants to talk to this schmuck? Because the sports takes off. Honey, I got to set my alarm for 4:55. I really need to talk to Spadoni about this. I really need to talk to him about that Brian Sabian interview on Willard and Dibbs yesterday. That would be hilarious, actually. Now I'm thinking about that in my head. If I had just one P1 listener like that, the best fan. And shout out to P1s. They're out there. Ernie, I see you. I see you, Ernie. You're like the P1 and 95.7 The Game, man. Hitting all of us up. I appreciate you. But if you said that one P1 guy is like, I'm your world's biggest fan. I picture the guy like Ace Ventura. I'm just a really big Finkel fan. That man is a fan of our son. Laces out. Anyways, I digress. Mentioned it earlier, Brian Sabian, he joined Willard and Dibbs yesterday. And he had some awful lot to say about the Giants' current leadership, him leaving, Carlos Correa's situation, what happened there, the Yankees. But we're going to start with the perception, and I think a lot of fans were like, wait, Brian Sabian's still on the team? We're going to start with this cut from Brian Sabian talking about on the perception that he left the Giants a while ago.
Well, some of that might have been the product of COVID or, travel was tamped down or that I was immersed the last 3 years, especially, but 4 years in counting with the draft. And, the only thing that bothers me is that they did, paint it as I was retired, et cetera, or that I was being paid as a consultant. None of that was true. So.
And quite honestly, I knew he was still involved with the team in some sort of advisory role. Consultant, no, but a lot of the fan base didn't. They just looked at that 107-win team with Farhan Zaidi and Gabe Kapler, like, oh, it's Farhan's team now? Like, he's not going to Sabian, no. Because Farhan's smarter than you, right? Analytics, all that. That's Farhan's thing, not Sabian's thing. Well, Brian Sabian talked about that view that he was anti-analytics, and he wasn't very happy about it.
It does worry me that our legacy or administration doesn't get enough credit for having the intellectual firepower, the people like Coletti and Tidrow and Bobby Evans and, again, Paul Bien, Jeremy Shelley, Shia Goldfarb. We did a lot behind the scenes. We didn't toot our own horn. We didn't promote our product. We laid low, and I think it worked famously for us. But people have the wrong impression because they don't know the inner working.
And Bruce Bochy, who had joined Willard and Dibbs, I believe, about a few months back, I think right after he got that Texas Rangers job, he did not like the notion, and he didn't appreciate the notion that he was just a gut guy and a feel guy. He used a lot of numbers to back up a lot of his moves. And we know Bochy, that is what he is most associated for, was that bullpen feel the starter, when we're going to do this matchup, that matchup. He's like, that wasn't all gut. I used a lot of numbers with that, certain lineups, what have you. So that whole front office / managerial component, they were not feeling the notion that they were anti-analytics. And I'm sure that was even enforced more after Farhan did what he did with the team in that huge season, and it was all analytics all the time, all the platooning, what have you. And then there was a lot of the fan base, a lot of people on the station saying, that's the way to go. That's the way to go. Sabian's way is not working. Well, it did work. Won you 3 World Series in the last decade. I get that it faded towards the end there. Injuries had to do with that. Players not being what they used to be. That happens. Teams go through some down spells, some downturns. And we're seeing it, I think, right now with the Giants currently. That farm system, it's not good. And Sabian, he was a part of that. Bobby Evans, all those guys, we get that. But he built up enough equity, if you're a fan, that I think you should have been allowed. Let me put it this way. Brian Sabian built up enough equity that he should have been allowed to get out on his own terms. Same goes with Bruce Bochy. They were forced out. And I think that rubbed both those guys the wrong way. And we're hearing it now in that interview with Brian Sabian yesterday. And Sabian was actually asked about his problem with modern baseball. And I thought this was fascinating.
I have no ill intent, but this is a fact. The game has been screwed up so much by perhaps the new age wave that we had to change the rules of the game. Now, that riles me. It's extremely upsetting that the overcorrection ended up being where it's almost unwatchable as a fan, or that the games turned into the now famous or infamous 3 outcomes.
Absolutely. Joe Shasky joining me right now.
God, music to my ears.
Yes, Joe Shasky, obviously Morning Rose, Bonte Hill. He joins me every Monday through Friday right around this time. And Joe, Brian Sabian.
Was so good.
So good.
I couldn't get out of the car.
If you want to listen to the whole thing, 957thegame.com. Download the Odyssey app, favorite 957. It's all there. Just fascinating insight. The energy, way better interview than he had with Chris Mad Dog Russo. The energy was actually there with Sabian yesterday. By the way, Brian Sabian sounds like he was just on like a 5-night bender constantly in Las Vegas. Always. And he also looks like he cooks a great steak for whatever's that worth. But.
You know what? I envision him next to Paulie at the end of Goodfellas when he gives Henry Hill the money, and he's like, "Now I got to turn my back on you." As he's cooking the sausage in the pan.
Paul Cicero, right? Yes. He's like, "Now I got to turn my back on you." As he's cooking the sausage and peppers, it's great.
All right, real quick. So I'm going to make this He is so right about baseball. You and me, you're a diehard baseball fan like I am, and not that other people here at the station aren't. My number one criticism with baseball, the ball is not in play enough, period.
It's brutal. A lot of ground outs, a lot of just shifts, just a lot of pop outs, strikeouts. It's just...
It drives me nuts. There's a couple things here. So, like, max effort on everything, right, is actually... It's actually, like... It hurts you, the player, and it hurts your body, and your performance is actually depreciated over a long period of time over that. Pitching to contact was an art, all right? Making somebody, that's why I like Logan Webb. He's kind of a throwback. He throws you the ball, and you can make contact, but you're going to ground out softly, and you're going to allow your defense to stay rhythmically intact in the game. Kirk Reeder's a great example. It's almost impossible to be a Kirk Reeder type in today's day and age where you pitch to contact, work quickly. Now it's like slow everything down to a grinding pace. Yes. Every at-bat is 6-7 pitches. Let's foul it off. So I'm 100% with him. And then what that's done is force defenses to not be as athletic as they used to be, because you don't have to be.
No, you don't. And he got replaced. Let's just say what it is. He got replaced by a guy whose whole mantra and mindset is about platooning. And quite honestly, it's that style of play that you're alluding to.
Yeah, which is boring.
It's boring. I get it. It won, so that he's going to keep doing that, and that's just what everyone's doing in the league right now. But if you're Brian Sabian, you're like, wait, you're pushing me out for this guy? I won 3 titles. I know what I'm doing. Sure, maybe one or two of those runs were fluke kind of runs, and we got caught lightning model. That's sports.
Yes.
That happens.
Yes.
But you're looking at that 2012 year when you were one of the best teams all season.
Exactly.
And what you were on offense, defense, pitching, all that sort of stuff. And I get it. Guys from the old school like Brian Sabian, who, by the way, and I was talking about this earlier, I was only I wasn't even born when he just joined the Yankees as scout. I didn't know he was the architect and the head of the scouting department when they got Posada. When they got all those guys, Rivera. I was like, wait, that was Brian Sabian?
Yeah.
So he knows his stuff.
Absolutely.
And he has been part of one of the greatest dynasties in the history of baseball. And him being able to win all those World Series, he built up enough equity in my mind, him and Bochy, that them getting pushed out for that analytics driven era, and I get it. a lot of people were in favor there. Maybe hindsight's 20/20. It always is. But that had to have rubbed him the wrong way. And him and Bochy might not say it, but you can hear it in his voice yesterday. He's pissed.
Oh, I don't blame him. I don't blame him at all. The analytics thing is very, to me, it's so frustrating because I think the spreadsheet people who just war and this and that, all the different stupid alphanumeric breakdowns that they have on positional values and hitting values and stuff. What if you're in a funk? What if you've got a sore wrist? You know, what if for whatever reason you're afraid of pitcher X because of his funky delivery? Like, it can't quantify for real life scenarios, you know, where you're at. Hey, I caught 18 innings yesterday. I'm not going to be fresh tomorrow, the next day. Like, I'm just throwing out all these different things that go beyond the spreadsheets. It kind of drives me insane. The one thing, I know you hate the Astros for a variety of reasons, but you have to appreciate, for the most part, they play a brand of baseball that I appreciate and recognize. Yes. We're going to put the ball in play. We're going to play elite defense. Yeah, we'll see pitches. We also have a bunch of guys who can go first to third.
Yes.
And we have guys who are not just power hitters, but put the ball in play in the gaps.
Well, and liking that team, very similar to the NL version of them, I think, would be the Braves.
Yes.
Like it's very similar.
Monte's team.
But also, and let's not get it twisted, they're obviously using analytics. They're using every team. They're using a bunch. But they have managers that are from the old school.
Yes.
That know how to utilize both the numbers and their gut, their instincts, all the equity they've built up in the past. And they're just smart because they draft the right players. They pay the right players. And clearly the Astros made the right choice with Correa. This whole thing, no one's talking about that. Like, they clearly hit a home run there. But to your point, you're absolutely right. That brand of baseball wins. And Sabian and Bochy, they were not just gut guys.
No.
Like, that's the point. That was the clip I just played.
When he was talking about...
When he was playing, is like, it kind of...
It's an insult.
It's an insult.
I agree with him.
We use numbers.
Yes.
Just because it's not our whole mantra and that's what we do all the time, like, that's not fair. And I get it. Like, what I took away from that interview yesterday with Brian Sabian was that he's just pissed off at how everything shook out towards the end there. And that this has been a bad offseason for the Giants. And losing that guy to the Yankees after you already lost Aaron Judge when you thought you were in on him makes that first series more interesting. I'll say that.
It does. I'm going to real quick because I know we got to get to our show. Little Benny's going to be playing Little League at some point. T-ball, whatever.
Starting basketball next Wednesday.
Awesome. Yeah. I'm so happy for you. Like, honestly, the number one thing that parents, kids, coaches, everyone hates on a diamond, one kid pitching, everybody out on the field, no action. He's walking guys. He's striking guys out. No one's putting it in play. That's when the game is boring. Yes. You know when it's fun? When guys are running around the bases, the ball's in play, defenses can make plays, the kids on the field are totally engaged because they know the ball might come to them. Yes. It's the same thing for the adults, and it's the same thing for the people watching the game at home. I want action.
There you go. He wants action. Well, we got it next. Morning Roast, Joe Shasky, Bonte Hill. Can't wait for that. They're going to get into the Cardinals, 49ers, more of the Sabian. Joe Lacob, owner of the Warriors. He had very fascinating thoughts with Tim Kawakami in his podcast. So we'll get in all of that coming up next on 95.7 The Game.
You're listening to 95.7 The Game, KGMZ FM at HD1 San Francisco. An Odyssey station. Get the latest weather updates and storm warnings on KCBS. Stay safe by staying informed with KCBS.
Texting enrolls you into reoccurring automated text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Hey, Dan, how you doing? Haven't seen you around the gym.
Yeah, I've really fallen off. Since I turned 40, I just don't get the results I used to get.
Could be lower testosterone. I went through it a while back. I got Nugenix Total T, and it's made a huge difference for me.
I've seen that on TV. Is it for real?
Oh, yeah. The patented key ingredient is something called Testofen, which helps boost free and total testosterone levels to help you trim up and stay lean.
And it's made a difference for you?
Man, I feel like I'm in my 20s again. At work, in the gym, and in the bedroom.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try it for themselves?
Yeah, you just need to send them a text.
Text equal to 321-321 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T. Plus, text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo, our most powerful